People. Que pasa, sapa, say what they do. Now, people, the high-profile corruption case against Education Minister, former Education Minister, and Professor Fitzpinnock of the CMU. I am speaking about the Caribbean Maritime University, and 3 other co-accused is taking some drastic twists and turns. And people, this is after they are represented, and more specifically, Professor Pinnock is represented by high-profile attorney. I am speaking about Mr. Hugh Wildman. And people, when they talk about top attorney, he is the same attorney that represented one of the little crook them from the Cash Plus. I am speaking about the case that involved billions of dollars being theft in a Ponzi scheme. We are talking about a pyramid scheme. So now we see that the same attorney is representing these 2-foot posts, these thieving hyena. Me I talk about Royal Reid, and I am also speaking about Professor Fitzpinnock of the CMU. And basically, people, in this case, it is said or it is alleged that they defrauded the government. May I talk about the Ministry of Education, and I am also speaking about the Caribbean Maritime University in a conspiracy to defraud the government of over $56 million. Yes, people, $56 million in a barefaced fraud where there were documentation. We are talking about paperwork. We are talking about many people that were involved that defrauded, or them try to thief money from the government, or they basically stole money from the government of Jamaica in a barefaced form, point blank and period. So anyways, the lawyer is claiming that he wants all the charges that are brought against his client by the Financial Investigative Division to be dropped on a technicality. Now, people, you have to ask yourself, when people are busted with paperwork and all sort of paper trail, you have to wonder how this lawyer is coming. You have to wonder how this lawyer has the audacity to even come and say stuff like this. But people, like we see, this is Jamaica, and Jamaica is full of psychs. They are full of psychology. And when it comes to the rich people, there is a different set of rules and laws for the rich, and there is a different set of rules and law for the poor people. So anyways, last week this lawyer said that this case is like a gun without a bullet, and people, this week he even went even further. He even made it more disturbing. He said that this is like a case with an imitation gun. So people, no bullet, no gun. So therefore he is claiming, he is alleging that there is no case that should be brought against his client. Now people, when we talk about audacity, when we talk about psychs, when we talk about a set of people in the justice system in Jamaica that are full of SHIT, this explains it. This is a perfect example. Once again, one more again. So basically, the case that the lawyer is putting up, he is saying that the Financial Investigative Division, they have no jurisdiction to lay any charges against anybody. And he is also saying that they had no right to seek authorization from the DPP. We are talking about the Department of Public Prosecution to lay any charges. It is out of their jurisdiction. So people, basically, he is saying that this charge is supposed to be thrown out on a technicality. So now people, like me said before, there is one set of rules and laws for the rich and one set of rules and laws for the poor people in Jamaica. And the rich people are always going to beat it on a technicality. They are always going to use psychology. They are always going to come up with some sort of BS to basically trick the people using the government of Jamaica, using the justice system in Jamaica. And that also includes the Popo. It also includes the DPP. Because the truth is that the DPP should have known beforehand if the Financial Investigative Division have that sort of jurisdiction to lay any charges against Mr. Royal Reid and Professor Pinnock and their co-accused. So basically the lawyer is saying that this case is a nullity. That means that it is null and void. That means that it makes absolutely no sense. So therefore it should be thrown out, point blank and period. And the top lawyer, Mr. Wildman, even went a little further and said something even more disturbing when he said that his clients are professing their innocence. So that means that they are not accepting or taking any responsibility for such missing funds. So basically, he is saying that the $56 million that was missing, the people them of Jamaica, the prosecution, the government of Jamaica should just forget about it. They should just turn a blind eye and just sweep it under the carpet, because based on technicality, they should not be charged by these persons. They should be charged by other persons, but not the Financial Investigative Division. Some people, we are talking about technicality, we are talking about psychology, and yes, we are seeing it once again. The rich persons are always getting away with all sorts of crime and rete and lele in a Jamaica. And what is even worse is that this lawyer is rubbing salt in the wound, because he is claiming, he is alleging that the state we are talking about, the government, he is talking about the DPP. They have to prove that these actual persons, we are talking about the 5 persons, we are talking about Royal Reid, and we are speaking about Professor Pinnock, and we're also speaking about their co-accused. They actually defrauded the government. The government has to prove that case, and right now, them have to have paperwork, and right now, them have to have documentation, and right now, they have to have paper trail, and he does not think that they have it. People, let me know in the comment section what you think about this case. So in essence, what the lawyer is saying is that he filed a judicial review and it should be granted, and that Mr. Reid, Mr. Pinnock and the co-accused should be set free, and all of the charges should be dismissed point blank and period. And what makes it even worse is that the lawyer has big questions. He has question marks, and he is wondering, he is pondering, he is contemplating if the DPP or any other body can lay charges against his client, if the case that is filed by the Financial Investigative Division is actually dismissed. So people, we are talking about double jeopardy. So people, we are talking about a lot of technicality that is used by these high profile lawyers. And people, like me say, it is one brotherhood of thief. It is one brotherhood of rich people that therefore look out for each other. And people, like we say, it is psychology being displayed in front of our faces once again, one more again. And we have to also remember that when we hear these top lawyers speaking, they are not speaking with water in their mouth. They are not just drawing things out of the air. We are talking about top lawyer like Mr. Bertland Samuels. We are talking about Valorinita Robinson. And we are also speaking about Mr. Hugh Wildman and Rete and Lele. They are basically using reference of other cases that they've used before in the past. Forget off them top-notch client, may I talk about them rich client. So therefore they know that this is a card that they can always pull. And more than likely, we are talking about 99% of the time, it is going to work. This kind of psychology or this kind of psych is always going to work in the court as it pertains to rich people. So anyways, people, like me say, we see it once again, one more again, one other set of rich person that look like a slam dunk case. It look like they are going to be free. So people, like me say, it is just my views and opinion. It is not the gospel. Your views and opinion can be respectfully different from mine. But let me know what you think in the comment section. Now people, before I move to the next part of my video, please subscribe to my next channel. It is called Jamaica Dancehall Source. One word, Jamaica Dancehall Source. Now the next thing that is popping in the news is that we see that the residents of Lime Hall in St. Anne's, they are basically ticked off by the driver of a minibus that basically slapped with a little boy. We are talking about a 10-year-old about 8 days ago. And basically they tried to jungle justice the minibus driver, but luckily for the driver, the popo was on the scene. So people, we are talking about a very lucky man. So the residents are saying that they are ticked off because they don't feel like they are getting the proper justice after this bus driver licked down the little youth after he was coming from school. And I am speaking about a 10-year-old student from the Lime Hall Primary in St. Anne's. I am talking about Cotton Lloyd that was hit by a bus just minutes after leaving his school. So people, it is said that the bus driver was speeding. So people, when we talk about the mindset of these drivers, may I talk about the minibus man them, and I am also talking about the taxi man them. And people, I am speaking specifically about the drivers that are driving public vehicles. They are supposed to have common sense, because people, like we say, if it's a school zone, that means you have to go extra slow, because you know, say, little picnic there, especially when we are speaking about a primary or basic school. So the residents of the community are saying that the process or the justice system is moving very slowly. And what makes it even worse is that that same driver, that same bus driver will lick down the little youth, he is now operating taxi, and he is still flying up and down in the same district. So basically the people them rush him, and then basically STONE his vehicle, and he was lucky that the popo was on the scene, because he would have received JUNGLE JUSTICE because of his actions. And what makes this situation even worse is that there is no cross sign at this school. Now, when we talk about basic school and primary school, we are speaking about children that are under the age of 6 and 12. That means that their decision-making process is not really up there. That means that they need to be monitored. That means that they need cross guard to make sure that they don't get injured by vehicles, point blank and period. So anyways, the popo claim that they are doing their investigation, but it is taking longer than possible, and obviously we see that that is ticking off the residents in the district. And they claim that they have collected statement, and they did a vehicle examination and a crime scene reenactment, and they are waiting on a post-mortem for the little youth. So people, we see what happened, and we see that it is happening over and over and over again as far as it pertains to these taximen and these bus drivers and persons that are driving public transportation. We see that they are very reckless, point blank and period. So anyways, people, that is my views on the whole thing as it pertains to that. And like me say, it is just my views and opinion. It is not the gospel. Your views and opinion can be respectfully different from mine, but let me know what you think in the comment section. Bless up.